Hi, welcome to the Doctor's Office with Dr. Teddy and
Mr. Floofs.
here at the Doctor's Office we like to take movies, books, and franchises and see where have they gone wrong and see if we can help them out in future installments. Our first patient today is the Fast and Furious franchise. Now as much as I love this series, it's a great movie to just go watch with the friends, live a little escapism, but this movie franchise has gone wrong and we need to address these problems before we can't save them. Alright, the first problem we have is the no consequences. The problem with this franchise is they have great stunts that just have great filmography, great ideas to have on screen, yet there's no consequences. Like, you have no doubt they're just going to be fine by the end of it.
And especially like after like 7 or 8 movies where just like they do the most ridiculous stuff. Don't get me wrong, like some of the stuff they do is pretty cool, and like I applaud the fact that they're doing some of these scenes. But since they've done a lot of these scenes, it's been ridiculous that like none of them die or get hurt by any means. Like for one example, I believe it was in Fast 7, where Toretto gets shot from one freeway across to the other freeway while catching, I believe, Letty, right?
I think it was Fast 6.
Fast 6, my bad. Catches her and then lands on a car, and then he just walks away like nothing happened. Like, your back should be like broken and like your legs shouldn't work after that. Like, there's no way that you should come out of that unscathed.
My favorite part about that same movie was they had a plane crash where it was just the biggest fire explosion of the entire movie. Your John was out like, yeah guys, I'm fireproof. These muscles are too big to burn. Another problem we have with no consequences is the stunts also become unrealistic to the point where in Fast 5 where they had that great chase, the safe, like it was like cool, they got the safe out, but like where happened to friction in the first place where they could just slide metal on concrete like it was nothing but with just 2 cars just pulling it? And then you have the Fast and Furious 6 where the runway, a normal runway for an airplane turns out to be 172 miles just where all the flight can happen on one scene.
So all the fight scenes, all like the pulling, so you can have like tension. It's like, oh, the plane's about to lift off and the car's going up. It's like, no, we still got another 100 miles of this runway to get through.
Like the stunts are cool, but then it takes you out of the movie. Like, what are we watching here? Like, this shouldn't even be happening. I feel like it takes away from like the intensity and just like the impact the movie would have if maybe someone would just like twist an ankle every once in a while. Like, that took a lot out of me. Just kidding, I'm Don Toretto.
I mean, they did have, to bring this up, which is why we're trying to help out this franchise, because they have a little bit in the beginning, because like, for example, like when the Fast 7, when like, or no, because of Fast 3, you know that somebody's going to die, so they try to set it up in Fast 7, but at the same time, the entire movie you're watching, it's like, oh, I know only this person's going to die, so it's just like, in the beginning, like, they had a little bit of it, like, worrying about people's lives, but towards the end, it's just like, nah, like, I only know like, who one specific person's gonna go.
And then it's like there's no suspense in the action scenes now. Like, will they make it? You just know they're gonna make it. It's just like, how ridiculous is gonna be? Like in Fast and Furious 7, when Dom goes down the mountain, he's just like, you know what, this car can handle it. He drove straight off the mountain, and that thing was obliterated. But Dom's like, I got this. Nothing happened to me, guys. And yet, in the later scene, when Dom falls about maybe 1 story, maybe 2, from like a parking structure, Letty goes, oh my god, what happened to Dom? Like, Letty, he survived a mountain. This is nothing.
Do you not realize that apparently Dom is Superman? Like, he can't fly, but he's just as durable.
Like, he got this.
Alright, that shit bugged me way too much, man. Like, you guys gonna pretend like you worried about his life, like he didn't just take 2 bullets to the chest and walk away fine. Like,
he just deflected it with his car. Another big problem with this franchise is it kind of lost its focus from what it originally started as. So we have, like, right now we have really undefinable characters, and the biggest culprits I have right here. The biggest problems I have right now is the two characters, Dom and Ludacris. Ludacris started off in Too Fast and Furious as the connect guy who gets you what you need, set up the races, handle the money. Then in Fast 5, he's the tech guy now. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but that's cool. Maybe he has connections in the technology world, that's cool. Next, you know, Fast 7, he can fight now. Like, he can fight security that has been trained to how to fight. I'm like, At one point, what's the limit to Ludacris? Like, in Fast 8, he's just gonna levitate at one point. He's just be like, "Don't worry, guys, I learned how to fly on the weekends."
And like we're giving like shit to like Dom that he's like Superman over here, but Ludacris is just like he's a superhero by himself. Just like, oh, whatever the plot needs, I'm good at it today. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's like, need me to be underwater for 4 hours? Don't worry about it.
And speaking of Dom, I feel like he's mixing up his franchises. Like in this one, he's a hardcore racer. Like put him behind a car, unstoppable. That's cool. I believe that. Yet, like he's pulling out some stunts in the trailer for Fast 8. Like he knows how to use a gun. He's into tech gear. He's gonna be like a super spy assassin. I'm like, when did he become Triple X? And when do those two franchises mix at whatever given point that he needs? I'm like, Dom, I like you in a car. Don't get extravagant on me. Like that's not what I came here for. Another part of this thing is the lack of group identity. Like the start of this franchise was they were underground racers, and they were part of the underground world, like crime, but they were supposed to be like always car based. Then they got into like, oh, now they work for the police to get to the real criminals underground. But then, no, wait, we're the real criminals now. We're gonna rob Brazil. Oh wait, we're so good at robbing, the secret government is gonna come after us, and that way we can hunt even bigger criminals. Oh wait, the criminals are coming back. Now I'm like, where is this going?
And then like the entire time it's like, let's learn a couple chase scenes. Like we can make sure we still have some cars so people still know it's a Fast and Furious movie. I'm like,
we're destroying London when I just wanted to start off in Los Angeles, going down like Sunset Boulevard, just racing. I'm like, where are we, guys?
like, where did the racing
and
go?
where are we going? Like, we're going to space. We're gonna race space cars.
Like, I checked in for like a racing movie. All of a sudden we're doing heists and shit. Like,
and another thing is about excess movie plot lines. I'm sorry to say, but the fourth movie was completely useless if Letty was going to come back eventually. I thought there was going to be a little bit of character development, like, oh, you lost one in your crew, how are you going to deal with that? Family was a big thing for you. You got a new girl who was like legit, like, who was like, hey, we got a new addition. Letty's back. Kick her to the curb. I was like, that's cool. Great message to send people. And then the 6th and 7th movie, I feel like they underplayed the 6th movie's antagonist just to bring in Jason Statham to be the big badass of the 7th movie.
Same.
Well, you could have just made Jason Statham the badass of the 6th movie and just had a solid antagonist instead of just doing this double switch where it's like it's the same plot where it's like you're going after the bad guys because you're so good. Oh, because you were so good, another bad guy wants at you. I'm like, you could have just had one solid movie with one solid bad guy and be done with it.
Or if, even that, like, you could have had like both movies with like Jason Statham because clearly they really wanted him. Like, you don't have to like murder every bad or every villain that you have. Like, you could just be like, oh, we destroyed your plot, your evil plan, or whatever, and then you just happen to get away.
So, yeah, who's next?
Yeah, like. After that, they could have done that as well.
Yeah. So, now that we sadly took apart this beloved franchise, let's give it some light here. Let's give it some medicine. And sadly, the miracle cure would honestly be Paul Walker. If he was still around, God bless his soul, he would honestly make Fast and Furious 8 a lot better. Like, we could forgive everything else that ever happened if he was in Fast 8, because it would make a lot more sense. Because, like, right now, they're going to have to go up against Dom, and no one's at the same caliber of driving as Dom, as Paul Walker was. That was the big thing. It was like, who's better, whatever. Like, Letty, maybe, but it was always Dom and Paul. So it's like, if Dom goes bad, you got to call Paul Walker out of retirement just to handle it. It would even make a better movie if Paul goes bad, because he was like the babyface, like, heart of the movie, and you have Dom coming out and it's like, what's wrong, Paul? I mean, Brian. What's wrong, Brian? We thought we were about family. And you have Paul go, fuck family. And it'd just be like, oh my god, it would be such a better movie with it. But
I would say more would be better if Dom still went the bad way, but with Brian, because like he's already had like his time in the spotlight where it's just like, oh, is he good, is he bad, sort of thing, because he was a cop and like,
oh, okay, yeah.
A lot of people might have forgotten at this point, but he was a cop in like the first 3 movies, or first 2 movies, I should say, and there was a lot of back and forth. It was like, oh, is he gonna rat on Dom's family, or is he gonna like rat on the police family? So like to see with him in there, to see Dom go the other way, and we'd just be like, oh snap, now he's the double agent, especially since he's always been like, family this, family that. Like, yeah, I feel like we put much more weight to it.
Alright, so here are my prescriptions for this franchise. First of all, you need new characters. Like, I love the family of the way it is, but it really, new characters would introduce new faces. You could also introduce, like, the you don't have to like butcher your original characters to fit the new movie. Like if you need a tech guy, bring in a tech guy. If you need a new young driver, like hey, I saw this guy in Argentina, he was really good, let's bring him in. And then that way, even if you bring new characters in, they can have their own backstories, their own problems, and then that way you can go down that route if you want to do villains or other future installments. Another thing is you need a villain that lasts more than one movie. I like the way you said it. Like Jason Statham could have been a much longer villain, and that would have been a lot cooler. It's just like launch this. Oh yeah, we took that guy. That guy's done. That goes. I'm like, whoever's next is going to be done in one movie.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter what's going to happen. And people need to start getting hurt or killed. I say I don't want to lose too many of the characters that I have. I love them, but someone needs to twist an ankle at one point just for me to like, oh man, he got hit by a wall, like going 60 miles an hour. He's out for the rest of the movie. He's in the hospital. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's some realism back in this franchise.
What I think would actually really help too, especially like right now. Well, maybe not right now with Dom being the villain, but like if they got like a new villain and then like they kind of like break the formula by like one, the villain getting away, which means he could come back in a future movie, and two, him like killing off one of the main characters, just so that way like they have motivation to go after him in the next movie and kind of like set something up.
I believe I heard Charlize Theron is going to be a part of a trilogy from starting with Fast 8 for a 3-movie connection. So that's still on the table. So a lot of hope for this direction of the franchise. All right, that's our patient for today. Please go to the comments, see if you like, subscribe.